Okay, I'm going to show you how to change the bearings in an SB3X blending jar, frozen drink machine. First of all, to unscrew it, you grab it with your left hand and you turn this to the right. That could be confusing. I remember when I first started doing this, I was confused. And then you take that off. If it does get stuck, like you can't get this off, pour some boiling hot water in here, pour it around the edges, and it'll eventually come apart. So you take this apart. Now, I've already done a few things because this can be a loud, tedious process. So what I then do is I turn this upside down. This was here. You take this off, and then in here, touching the bearing, because there's a bearing, there's two bearings, one on the top and one on the bottom. There's a thin bearing, narrow, and it's narrow because it has to fit in the top of the blade, and it has to fit perfectly. You'll see when you take it off. Try and save the one you have, unless it's so far gone that it's rusted, but it should be fine. So it would be the gasket, the bearing, the washer that fits there. And then it's just like a kind of a normal washer. It doesn't really matter the size because it's going to push against the washer that's touching the bearing. You put that on top. So that's the part you're going to take apart. Now, to get this out, be careful because you don't want to damage the threads on the blade. Push that through. That came out very easily, but you might have to bang it out. You probably will have to bang it out. And then on the blade, this usually sticks in here, is the rubber gasket that stops the water from damaging the bearings. Now you want to be very careful to get that out, and you just kind of do it out. If you cut this, you're kind of screwed. You don't want to damage this part. Alright, so then you got a bearing. You have a thicker washer in the middle, which is kind of like a sleeve. It's a 1/4 inch thick. And then you got a bearing. So you got bearing, 1/4 inch washer in the middle, bearing. So then what I do is I put it on here. I make sure that the bearing, the washer in the middle is kind of pushed in. So you might want to, slide it or get a wire and push it. That way it gives you something to hammer on. So then you get that and you push it on the washer and you bang it out. You bang out the bottom washer. This could be the tedious part. This one's in pretty good, actually. Yeah. Alright, well there's the top washer came out. So you're basically going to do that on each side. You're going to get something better than this point. You should have like a flatter head, and you bang it out. And then on the bottom one, you can just get something like this. Makes it much easier. Boom. See, I damaged this. I damaged the bearing, the new bearing I had already replaced. But I got plenty of these. Alright, so to put it back together, this can be, you've got to take your time. So what you want to do is put the bearing in top. Now the top bearing is a little snug, the size I use. I use 608 2RS. It's an 8 by 22 by 7 millimeter bearing. Actually buy those on Amazon. And then what you're going to do is you're going to bang the bottom. Probably put it on here, make it a little easier. Don't damage the bearing, so it's flush. That's flush with the bottom. And then then what? Then the sleeve that was in the middle. So you got bearing, thick sleeve washer, bearing. So you got a bearing at the bottom. Put that in. Nice. Got my washers here. I damaged the one, so I'm putting a new one. Put that inside. And this one is snug. So what you want to do is get this part, and then you gotta be careful. You kind of just want to put it on the metal. The metal in the center, and there's the metal outer ring. This one's a little flush. This one does not need to be flush. Sorry, does not need to be flush. So then when you get it to where it is flush, then you gotta do a little delicateness, pushing it in the sides. So you need a cavity there to put the gasket back. There we go. Now look. See how there's a cavity? So that way I can put this on, and it's pretty much flush the gasket. Alright, so then return this. Now see what happened? This one popped out. This one could be loose. The bottom is tight, but the top is loose. Sometimes I actually put a little bit of, not much, a little bit of glue there just so it'll stay in place. That one, look how easy. Boom, it goes in so easy. Alright, so the next step is get your blade. So you got your bearing, you got your sleeve thick washer, and you got your bearing, and then you got your gasket. You're going to push this through, and you got to loop. You got to loop it through the thick washer. See, popped out again. I might, just for showing you, I'm not going to glue this one in. But you got to be careful because you'll push it out. Now I do replace these, so if you have a fee, if you charge, you mail them to me, I charge $32.50, and then I mail them back to you. So not making a whole lot, but I enjoy doing it. Gotta be careful. See, that's where it can get tricky. So what I do sometimes is I'll push this down because the blade shaft will push on this. So if you can get this in there from this side, it can be helpful. How do you do that? Well, this works sometimes. I put this over it. There. Slid down in. Nice. Put that bearing back. If you have glue, a little bit of sticky, something, I use that spray glue and I just put it around the edges and it makes it stay in there. Alright, so you got that. Now you got to get back all those washers you had. You put the washer and you see there's a lip there, and this fits right over the lip. Nice. And this is silicone, so it'll never rust. And then I have a copper one, and I put that over it. And this can be any size. And then you put this back on. Righty tighty. Clutch. That's called the clutch. Like I said, you might want a towel so you don't cut yourself. To make that loose, you don't want any play here. You don't want any play. So get yourself a towel. Bubble wrap, tight, and you got that nice smooth feeling when you turn it. No play at all. See, if you use the wrong size gasket to push on the bearing, it's gonna, when you turn it, make it tight, it's gonna push on that black cover, and it's gonna be hard to turn. But since it's just pushing on the metal of the bearing, it turns nice. So I'm running out of parts, that's why I'm doing this video. I was just selling refurbished blades that I had, but now I need other people's products to refurbish them for them, because I'm finding it hard to find these and find the blades, and it's just I'm running out of parts. So just hit I guess on YouTube you just hit the question or whatever and send me a question. I'll send you my contact information. You mail it to me and I will send you a PayPal invoice, which is protected, and then you can we'll mail it back to you. It costs about, I don't know if it's gone up, but say it's under $5 to ship this to me. I'm in Central Florida. All right, thank you. Have a good day.